Hello. And we're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What is this madness? Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Naturally One. Welcome back to Naturally One.
I am providing a very unique commodity.
Please tell me the names of your companions.
Who, what, when, where, and why? I don't know if you've captured Hal yet.
Bob is sleeping outside and boiling acorns and having a good time.
Hey, how's our patient doing? Still alive back there, buddy?
Bob, I want you to roll me some percentile dice. Not only is there no pulse, he's cold.
I guess that's one less thing we have to drag around.
I got horns, I got some teeth, kind of sharp. I got some tricks up my sleeve.
And make sure that we don't cut ourselves on glass. One's mostly
Can we
dead.
use one of the dead bodies to break out the rest of the jagged glass at one of the windows so we don't hurt ourselves?
If you look close enough, you might notice that his eyes are moving so fast that you wonder how he can see anything. And I'm going to say, this is for hurting my friends. And I take my dagger and put it right underneath his chin. Right.
Actually kill him?
Oh yeah, he's down. I want him.
Oh!
Small human in a big city for the first time ever in his life.
Let me guess, the
Decision, but not
highlight of
one
your
of
life is what you're gonna do in order to make a name for yourself, maybe one day even slay some really cool monsters. Just like every one of those guys over there.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll be here next year. I'm gonna climb that ranking as high as I can, and I ain't gonna stop until I reach as high as I possibly can get.
Hi, and we're back, but we're minus a Chlor. But for those of you who remember last time, he's a little tied up at the moment. And,
He likes it that way.
hey, I don't judge. And there we go, making Sam go, be like, all right, okay.
I'm trying not to laugh. You know how easy it is to make me laugh.
You're allowed to laugh. We're here to have fun.
Yeah, but I want to also be able to just like knuckle down and get to work, and I can't do that if I'm cracking up too much.
Whoa,
Just crack up.
Knuckle down and get to work.
There's no knuckle downing in
D&D
D&D.
campaign.
Knuckle up.
Yeah. Look, man, efficiency is my life.
That's it. My new goal for this campaign is to derail every single one of Sam's attempts to get us back on track.
I like that goal.
Starting with a
That
train.
and your attacks on Theo. I mean, like, seriously, I want to crush his spirit. His sense of optimism, I want him to die.
I mean,
I'm feeling really
optimistic
attacked
side.
right now, guys.
not yet, you're not. You haven't rolled initiative.
Haven't needed to.
No.
Yeah, I know.
The most
right?
you've had to
How-
roll initiative for was, can you avoid a train?
Oh, yeah, and like the 2.5 rounds of like, there might be kobolds.
Right.
Or like wait, there's a shapeshifter, but we blew them up.
Yeah.
I swear, the action economy in this game has just really benefited you guys for some strange reason.
It's great. The game wants us
It is.
It wants us to succeed very clearly.
Except when we try to follow plot threads, then it decides no.
Who cares?
Plot
We're making
threads,
our
who
own
needs
plot.
them?
There is no plot.
We'll make our own plot with blackjack and, and hookers.
That's
All
it.
right.
Blob and I are starting a casino.
You know,
In the
when
underground.
I hear the term plot thread, I'm glad that it's not a tapestry.
Isn't it?
What'd you say,
It's the
Stu?
cheese in my mac
I
and
said,
cheese.
isn't it though?
Oh, it is.
It's a grand
own way.
tapestry.
I mean, if it was, we'd be unraveling it bit by bit. Just like this
Well,
conversation has gotten
Yes, we
completely
are.
unraveled.
Yeah, and my sanity's hanging on by a thread.
What thread?
The plot thread.
Well, that's about to get cut.
As you guys get stranded underground.
And
At the end of my rope here with these puns, guys.
Oh, come on, I'm dying.
Got me in knots. No?
Oh, that's good.
I'm trying to think of another one.
TikTok, pun time is expiring.
It's time to weave ourselves another chapter of this story. All right, let's go.
Hey, all right.
Good stave.
Who wants to fully recap where we left off?
We're underground in what appears to be a mine. The lights have been changing,
and that's all I remember.
I have
wow.
no-
And
I told you, you didn't want me to do it.
Stuart there is just like,
I kind of remember what was happening because I do remember the colors changing. I remember Chlor met like the Irish mafia.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, we've got like an impersonation going on, and we're looking for somebody, and we're being escorted.
Were we going into a shower to see if he was tied up?
Yes, Bob.
Yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Wild shaped into a dog to try to sniff down any hint of floor, and it led us to the bathroom with the drippy shower.
Our DM is so proud of us right now.
I am. I mean, the fact that 3 minds together are equivalent to the other mind's notepad.
I'd say that's a good equation. Yeah.
Oh, there was a rousing kazoo performance too. We can't forget that. That was the
Yeah,
best
we
part of the
record-
entire.
I don't remember that happening.
Can we
Mind
refer
you.
to this?
So, the line "He drank the maple syrup blood" was uttered.
Yeah. I'm going to propose that this 3 minds equals 1 notebook can be called the Sam phenomenon.
Ah, all right. Well, it has been decreed. There is the Sam phenomenon. So, where you guys had left off after your long journey, many days of trying to just head west to the mines, you made your way deep inside through the large atrium where there was the giant moving dial with the switch track. Finally made it to the station. Try to get some people's attention because you're like, hey, we need some information, and everyone seems to all have work to do, and they're all just kind of going about it. And you did manage to, with a rousing kazoo performance and some assistance by Chlor trying to raise a ruckus, you were able to get some people to just kind of be like, oh, what? And then they kind of gave you a rough general direction as to where to head, whether you wanted to walk there or take a different set of cars over from the foundry towards the barracks and the living quarters. Upon your arrival there, a gentleman who was begrudgingly but benevolent enough to kind of give you the lay of the land. Over there's the mess hall, over there's the quarters, over here's the main offices, and so on, and introduce you to some folks who gave you some interesting information about the auxiliary uses of the foundry and why some of the expired tunnels just aren't really explored anymore. As you guys were heading back towards the quarters, you kind of walked through what is a rough shanty town of kind of just rickshawed buildings and structures where people were kind of selling goods out of. Other people were kind of just using it like homes when they wanted a little bit more privacy than the barracks had to offer. And there was a small, red-haired man that someone decided to chuck a stone at.
That doesn't sound.
I believe, if I remember correctly, they critted with the stone.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
And then
we did.
after critting with said stone, dealt max damage. Because why the
That
heck
doesn't-
not?
That doesn't sound. That doesn't sound
That
familiar.
doesn't sound familiar at all? No? Not
Really
not
not.
little...
It's ringing
just-
almost no bells.
You sure? Because that's... I'm
Like very few bells. Like
I
a
think
surprisingly
there's-
little amount of bells.
Okay, well, I believe it was, in fact, caught on recording. I could be wrong, but...
Probably not.
Anyway, so you guys collected that person, was able to dissuade the crowd into thinking it was a prank of sorts by sheer...
We turned
ballsy
the guy
charisma.
into tasting blood.
He's fine.
Well, it tastes like maple syrup. Come on now. Before finally holding up the your potential prisoner in the quarters and took a much needed rest. Upon awaking, however, Theo, who was getting ready to take the next shift of watching their prisoner, found the room empty. Chlor, who had been sitting in there, and his the party's potential new friend were missing. And that's when Bob switched into dog mode and decided to sniff his way towards wherever Chlor may be, and that led them to the barracks shower on that level. Yeah. So, you guys have made your way into what is a large communal shower hall. There's not really much in ways of stalls. There's just kind of lots of faucet heads and simple mechanisms that appear to control the flow of water, and large drainage grates all over the floor, just kind of keeping everything funneling down in the same general directions. This room's about 15 feet wide, 20 feet deep, and it's just lined with shower heads. Kind of humid, kind of steamy, and
Steamy.
you lucked out in the fact that there's no one in here at the moment, because there's not really anything that would have stopped you from running into people. What do you guys do?
Now, didn't we find that the scent led down one of these drains?
Yes,
A
yes, you
drain
did.
grate in the floor gives off the smell of chlor and the front desk work. And it's very strong.
Yep. So I guess
Can you lift the grate? Is it a removable grate, or is it like embedded in the ground?
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. Ooh. The 17.
17?
Mhm.
You look at the grates and you realize that they have a seam. Pretty much all of them do, to make it easier for maintenance and things. And so you,
it seems
all of the scent down
like we
into-
can
yes.
get down this grate. If somebody wants to try to pry it up.
Pry bar.
Oh, you
Get
mean,
a
you
pry
mean like me?
bar.
Okay, gotcha. Right, okay. Theo would like to try to lift the grate.
Great.
Give me a strength check. Yeah, strength check. It's not really an athletics thing. This would be a straight strength check. Just kind of grip and pull.
It's a 14.
Rip it and rip it.
Takes you a moment to find a good place to, weave your fingers into the grate and actually get a good grip on it. It's kind of narrow. It's so that things don't kind of fall down there, and you have, good hardy farmer's hands. And so you do manage to find a way to just kind of pull it up, and it's not light. You find that it's about 2 inches thick plate steel. Nice and, pretty clean, actually, all things considered, for the type of place that you're in. As it slides out, you're able to shift it over to the side. And beneath is, it appears that all these grates lead into a large pipe, but they're almost open enough that it's almost a trough that seems to head all down in one direction together. It's the tunnel itself is rather narrow. You'd have to kind of go single file, squeezing along through the drain pipe. But yes, so you've pulled the grate up, and as Theo does, Bob, the scent kind of gets disturbed and gets slightly stronger for a moment before it settles again.
That's interesting.
Theo wipes his hands off on his pants and says, all right, well, who wants to go first? It don't look like we got a lot of room, but I figure we can all go down one at a time. We want to put Bob in the lead since he's got the best sniffer of us right now.
He's got 4 legs. How's he gonna climb?
I mean, it's
Lower him gently.
we'll just lower the dog gently. Dogs are pretty good at walking and digging and burrowing and following things.
None of which have anything to do with climbing.
Well, it's
Well,
down
we
into
need
a
to
pipe. The grates go down into a trough-like pipe section that kind of heads in one direction. That's really all you guys know for now in terms of
So how far is that drop?
snugly. Oh, it's only about 18 inches to the bottom of it.
I was expecting it to be like 25 feet.
No,
I would not drop
no.
a dog 25 feet. Get out your rope. We're gonna tie it around the dog's waist in a harness. We're gonna lower him down very slowly.
And jumps in.
And jumps in first. All right.
And is going first then.
So
The decision has been made.
takes you some seconds to kind of figure out a way to get yourself down onto your belly to be able to start kind of army crawling through. And as you do, you can just feel all of the sludge and gunk that's been, accumulating in the pipe. Give me a perception check while you're down there.
Oh, I nat 1.
Oh,
So she's getting it in her eyes and mouth.
that's basically what I was gonna go at. Is the first thing that you really notice is the smell. It's dank, wet, musky. Dang. These guys might be bathing, but you really question how much soap has been used, other than just kind of letting whatever is on their body just kind of end up in the pipes. And you're just, as you're slushing around trying to get, it's just in your face. You're drenched in it now.
And it's
Oh,
yucky.
Chlor is going to be paying for my dry cleaning.
Ooh, I like that. All right, so since we've already got one person down into the sludge, I guess I may as well be second in line because, well, do have the sniffer.
All right, so
You
Pen
want
goes
Theo
up.
to help you in?
If somebody chooses to assist, that I will not object. But otherwise, I'll just jump on down there.
I'm picturing
it's only 18 inches deep. It's not that,
Okay, I'm picturing like Keen from Hell's Moving Castle, like kind of going up and just like, and then just jumping down. It's a cute mental image.
I can work with that.
Just a little bit more of a yip, like.
Yep.
It's very cute.
Yeah, so you kind of land, and there's not much room in front of you besides the hen's rump.
Huh. Well, I'll just patiently wait in line then.
Who's
I
next?
imagine being a medium-sized dog, it's a lot easier to move through a confined space than for any of my humanoid companions.
Yeah, where they have to kind of really crawl because it's roughly an 18-inch diameter. It's snug. It's snug.
It's urban spelunking.
Yeah.
I can go
Movement
next
speed
because I'm
cut down pretty substantially.
Yeah, I'll go next because I'm also relatively small size.
Oh yeah, you're able to just kind of get in there, and it's more comfy for you comparatively, but and you're also a little bit grateful that a lot of the schmutz right in the beginning at the opening there has been moved up and is
out. Yeah,
it's been caked up by pen, so you guys have a much cleaner,
My paws are not so dirty.
Yay! I don't have to bathe myself as much.
I'm a dog. I don't do that.
It's fair. And then Theo, you're able to, I guess, bring up the rear.
Yep. Okay. Tight squeeze.
Do you put the grate back, or do you just kind of leave it open?
I think at this point, Theo's going to leave it open just in case they need to make a quick escape. He'd rather not have to try to heft it and move it, even if it might be easier.
I like your thought process.
All right. So, you have all entered the drainage tunnel.
The drainage of doom.
Drainage tunnel!
Drainage tunnel!
You guys.
Through the barracks, drainage tunnel, and died. I mean, let's just be honest.
We're getting there.
All right, so Hen, you are in front and are subsequently leading the way. I would like you to. As you're wiggling along. When did we get to Disneyland?
All of a sudden, I'm trying to remember the things of Hogan's Heroes.
So you guys are squiggling along. Hen, I need you to make a dexterity check.
Okay. Oh, good. 20.
Wow.
Nice. All right.
Natural?
No, modified. But at least I got the nat 1 out of the way.
I was saying, yeah, you got the first roll of the night was a nat 1 on the 13th episode of the campaign. Just saying, our luck's gonna be great.
Yes, it is.
Has been so far.
So you're able to, as you're able to move along, you found spots where you can kind of like move some of the gunk aside, and you're able to now kind of slide a little bit more over it. Unfortunately for those behind you, there's now more of it for them to kind of also step around, but you're no longer like just kind of covered in it. You're able to now get a good motion going as you army crawl along. And after about 20-25 feet or so, you see where the tunnel expands slightly as another tube pipe kind of comes in off from the right, and the drainage now goes from about 18 inches wide to about 2 feet wide, and you get another 6 inches or so. However, in this next section of pipe, there appears to be more standing water. It's about 2 inches of just standing liquid that has a particularly dank odor.
Dang.
The pipe that's off to the right that's kind of flowing in appears to be smaller, and the last real penalty from your nat 1. Roll me some percentile dice, Ben.
2.
2%.
Okay.
We're just going for both ends of the spectrum tonight. Nothing in the middle. We either go hard or we lose hard.
I need a Constitution saving throw from you.
Oh no.
That doesn't sound good.
That'll be fine.
11.
You are nauseated as there is a distinct rumbling noise coming from the pipe to the right as you are entering into it. And what starts off as clean-ish looking water changes to a distinctly non-clean color and just kind of, it doesn't really get you in the face or anything like that, but it just kind of pours out right in front of you, and then just slowly, a lot slower than what you've been moving, so you know you're going to catch up to it. Just kind of physical lumps of things, and you learn pretty quickly what that drainage pipe is coming from. And you just happen to be at the front row. Front row seats to all sorts of stink. All right, so
Y'all
now
better
a
be
slightly
so
wider-
happy I'm in front.
I am. Don't think that I won't say thank you later.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Very happy.
All right, so the pipe has widened out to about 2 feet. And who has dark vision here?
I think I do.
I want to say...
I don't know if it carries over in dog form, so I don't think that I do.
It does not carry over in dark
I do
vision.
have dark vision.
I do not have dark vision.
So Penn is the only one with dark vision. Luckily, Penn is in front.
Well, maybe not so lucky for Penn.
Okay, so Penn, is it 60 feet dark vision or is it 120?
Yep, 60.
Okay. You cannot see the end of this section of tunnel.
Can't see the tunnel.
But as you head down, slowly but surely, trying to stay behind the floating grossness, you do detect that the pitch has started to change, and what was mostly flat is now slightly on an angle downwards, because you can see more liquids from some of the other sources and things that have been kind of slowly seeping in are flowing a little bit faster.
Other sources.
At this point, I need everyone to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay.
Again?
Unfortunately.
That's a nat 1 for a grand total of 3.
I have just a regular 3.
I nat 1. I have a 3.
We've been playing for like half an hour.
I got a 7.
Oh no.
Stewart, what'd you get?
I got a 3.
We are awesome.
Was that a nat
just
1?
Flat 3.
Flat 3, okay.
Just a flat, nothing fancy about it.
Wow, okay, so you all fail. Splendid.
Reasonable.
Also, make whoever's tracking the nat 1s, congratulations, you just got more.
That's
okay, so Penn, you're now sickened.
We're all sickened about how that went.
So basically you are physically feeling ill from all this. The rest of you guys are just, the situation's just making you nauseous. You are otherwise unhindered, but if it happens to get worse, you're gonna start suffering. So that'll be...
know.
So as you guys continue, the pitch slowly starts to increase, and now I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh my gosh, no!
Saving?
Yeah,
Is that what that's
saving
gonna
throws.
mean?
Yes, you have disadvantage on it, and you're at the front.
Ooh, I have advantage. That's a 13. I got a beautiful 13.
All right, so
11.
11.
All right, you actually all. What was yours again, Stuart?
13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you guys begin to notice that the surface that you guys are trying to maneuver on is getting increasingly slick, but you haven't lost your footing or your grip really yet as you guys are crawling along down under here. But the things that have been growing along the sides have not yet caused you too much grief. But you see off in the distance, Penn, being the only one who really can see anything, poor Rinningham and Theo and Bob less so, mostly because you can kind of smell where your party is at a little bit more prevalent, a little more aptly. You have way off in the back, Theo can see a faint source of light.
Ooh.
Otherwise, it's just dark, and whatever it is that your hands are sliding along as you feel some of the stone and some of the occasional metal rivets and beams and other not stones and rivets. But Penn, up front, you can see where this pipe appears to join with a much larger sewage conduit. One where you think you might be able to stand.
Oh, good. Thank God.
So you reach the end, and at the very end, you can see very clearly that the lip of the mouth of this tunnel just kind of like tilts drastically, and so the things that you've been following, spill over much faster as you reach there. But you can see that this place, completely unlit, is just a big circular, probably about 5 foot wide tunnel carved into the rock. It's not nearly as smooth and refined as the pipe you were just in. It looks like it's just
stand.
But you can stand.
I can stand.
Ken's gonna stand up and hurl on the corner.
Well, as you stand, you slide yourself out of the tunnel and into what you see. You end up about thigh deep in sewage.
All the more reason
So when you,
to vomit.
yeah, when you hurl, it doesn't really move very quickly away from you. It's just kind of like the fluids that you were in were flowing much faster than this. This is just kind of slowly moving along.
No.
Also, it is noticeably warmer.
Now we're going through hot
so much
garbage.
worse.
It's what we're hearing is that it's fresher.
That's not exactly what could be happening, but I'm not going to say it's not, but it's just warmer. So, Pen, from the tunnel you guys were in, the direction of flow seems to be coming from the right and moving off to the left. Any particular preference of direction?
I'm gonna look at Bob.
Who is hesitantly looking at this thinking, I don't want to swim. I don't want to swim. I don't want to swim.
I was about to say, if Bob is still standing by the,
Still in the tunnel in the hole, like...
yeah.
Poor Bob.
Yeah, I don't want to Oh, wait, you're looking at me. I'm supposed to get... you need direction. Okay, sniff, 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 sniff. Oh.
Give me
Do I smell
perception
anything other than foul stench?
You're gonna have to give it to me with a disadvantage, which I guess since you have advantage because you're in dog, so it's a straight roll, straight perception check.
There we go.
That is a natural 20.
Yay!
There we go.
Yep, we got one.
You fixed your dice.
I didn't do it. I cannot take credit for that. The only thing that I did was press the button.
Magically started working again. I mean, at least it's not a 6 or a 4, or whatever it was every time.
Okay, so Bob is maybe indicating a direction, but still standing in the opening because clearly hesitant to jump into the literal lake of filth.
Yep, he's trying to detect a direction.
Pen's gonna internally pray to an unknown deity for a second, and then he's gonna hold his hands out, encouraging Bob to jump, and he'll carry him.
Oh.
What? Hands? Yes! I'm all over that.
Alright, so Pen just looks up, hoping that it's towards the sky where some ethereal
He's hoping
being
for
might
just
be
divine intervention.
looking down upon you all with, please get us out of this absoluteness. Beautiful. And you are now carrying, well, Jim, what type of dog did you turn into? Like a terrier type?
There was a Basenji variant.
You go for Basenji.
So, 25 pounds, somewhere in that range, 25, 30.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to... Okay, which Pen has little problem. Oh, actually, no.
I have a pen pal.
Ha. So yeah, now there's a pupper in arms, and Bob, you sniff around, and you don't smell Chlor or anyone really at all now. There's, even with a natural 20, it's actually almost disturbing, because you would have thought as you were going down this tunnel that you would have smelt just less of him, but you smell none of him.
There's an uphill pipe too, isn't there?
In that case, I have no idea how to indicate this to my handler Pen, but I'm thinking we need to go back towards the pipe that we came out of so that I can try and regain the scent. So I'm going to try and figure out how to nudge that direction.
Instead, before you do that, can you give me a survival check?
Oh my god, I'm going to be swimming.
No, you're not going to be swimming, I promise.
8.
Interesting choice.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Don't like that expression.
You're not sure. You knew you were tracking something, but yeah, you've definitely lost the scent, so going back and trying to reacquire. Now,
Do we wait for everyone else to come out of the pipe?
that was actually what I was going to ask next, is has Redingham and Theo popped out of the pipe yet?
Oh, probably.
I'm not trying to stay in there any longer than I have to.
So, Redingham, you pop out of the pipe, and you sink up to your neck.
Why? Who? No one warned me it was this deep. I'm not the first one through here.
And
You couldn't see me if you tried.
Rin, would you like a hand up?
I would appreciate one, yes.
All right. Okay.
but also, Renningham, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, gross.
It's a 9.
You are also now poisoned, sickened. You are very, very uncomfortable with the situation, because before it was just like, okay, yeah, there's gross stuff, and now you're like, you just went up to your neck in the worst thing. You've heard of terrible, disgusting places and things in this world. You have traveled 2/3 of the continent and have seen some shit, but you have never experienced the shit.
Not like
And
this.
now you are. Before Theo is able to
I
pull
am
you
no
straight up
longer
out of
happy
the-
about this.
Understandably so, buddy. It's okay. We'll try to keep you out of the muck any further if we can. You feel like you're gonna get sick? Just maybe don't get sick on me. All right?
No promises.
Try your best. That's all I'm
No
asking.
promises. No promises.
Ugh.
It's okay. No, we're fine. I can. I can. Okay.
Maybe try plugging your nose. It might help. Breathe through your mouth. Cat, stop unplugging my ear.
I'm sorry, didn't your hands
I don't think this
fall
is
into
helping
this
very
thing?
much.
You want that near your face?
It's not. I can taste it.
So, all of you have made it into the wider tunnel where you can at least move around. Luckily for you, Renningham, as you went down, you could feel the flow, but it wasn't strong enough to really push you too much, although the bottom was kind of slick. You were able to kind of keep your footing. For those of you who are taller, it's not so bad. It's detectable. You can kind of feel it pulling on your pant legs a bit as it moves, but it's not tearing you away. And so, Bob wanted to retry gaining the scent. So you go back to the tunnel to try to see.
I'm going to try to indicate towards my handler that we should go that direction. I don't know how well I can communicate as a dog.
Give me just a straight charisma check.
Charisma.
How enchanting are you?
That is a 12.
All right. Pen, give me a handle animal check.
9.
I've got such big eyes.
Pen is literally the only one who can see them, and as you know,
Wait, so Pen like looks at Bob and like
because Bob is squirming and making noises and trying to
so Pen's
articulate
looking
what's
at Bob.
going on.
So Pen's gonna pick him up and like almost hold him in front of him so that he can see his face for a second, just like like holding a toddler out. Yeah. He's holding the Basenji, and he looks at him, and he holds him and he starts walking towards the path they were going to take, or shuffling. He holds him towards the tunnel entrance that leads downstream with the rest of it. And then goes the other way and holds him towards the tunnel he just came from. Penn decides that's clear enough to go back the way they came, and looks at the group and says, "We have to go back the way we came."
You mean back through the through more of the
Penn feels his stomach in his mouth again.
Okay, well you're going first again. Try and push it to the side.
So, who goes in first? Bob, do you go in first, or is it Pen who's going in first?
I should probably go in first.
All right.
But since I'm being held, I don't really get to make that decision unless Penn says, "Hey, you can go first."
I mean, Penn's just gonna put him at the entrance to the pipe
cool.
and basically climb in behind him.
Now, mind you, for the most part, Pen's the only one who can actually see pretty much anything.
Right.
You're gonna bump your doggy's snout on a pipe.
Probably.
Bob, give me another perception check.
A sniff check.
Straight sniff check.
Alright.
Go for the sniffage.
11.
As soon as you're back in the tunnel, you can smell it faintly.
Alright.
Give me another survival check.
That's a 15.
Okay. But you know that the water is flowing down this way. And you didn't Penn, you didn't see any other tunnels or things as you went down this way. It just kind of all met up here outside of the 6-inch wide one that was bringing out other stuff, the gray water.
Is there anything above in the chamber, or is it just literally just a taller pipe?
It's just a taller pipe in this particular section. But yes, Bob, you are able to pick up the scent very faintly, and you know that it's flowing into here. It's just too strong. So this is where I was kind of going with some of the survival check. You know that if they were to have headed upways, most of any of the smell that would matter would probably be coming down. So the most likely direction would be to go following the sludge. From your times out in the wilds, you know hiding your scent, crossing a water source leads right to it, and then downstream helps you hide it.
Scampering up this pipe, I'm going to see if this scent gets any stronger. Because, in theory, as you get closer to it, it should be stronger, and farther away, it should get weaker. So I'm just going to head up and see if I can notice an increase in aroma.
As you head back up the pipe that you came from?
Yep.
Okay. Roll me another perception check.
Okie dokie. That's a 20.
Modified 20. Nice. The smell is slowly fading.
So what I'm getting is no matter which direction I go, it's fading.
At this point, yes.
I'm in a confined tube, so the scent is concentrated in a small area, and no matter which direction I go, it gets weaker.
So I guess we should reorient. You came from, the smell led you to the bathroom.
Right.
And to the grate, and you went down into the grate.
Right.
So the grate has had flowing water and other stuff going along.
Right.
You followed the length of that.
Right.
With the scent still detectable until you reached the largest section where the scent was no longer detectable.
What'd they do? Chop him up, throw him in here, and we're just picking up the remnants?
Your survival check needs a check.
So, I think what he's saying is that at this point in time, not only has there been other stuff that's been flowing through the pipes, and we're further down than we were initially, it's been enough time that the scent of chlor has faded from where you followed it in the bathroom. So based on your experience in the wild, that rather than, if chlor had been taken off to the other pipe, there still would be scent flowing downwards towards you. Since you couldn't smell anything, the most likely way to go, the opposite direction, we continue downward from our little giant tunnel that we go into.
Yeah, but
Correct.
we go that direction and it just gets weaker also.
Yes, but that's because that's how water tricks work.
And
when you're hunting something.
Yeah, and
but we're not smelling the water, we're smelling the ambient coming off of his body.
But since you're not smelling it coming from the other tunnel, since you have experience with outdoorsy stuff, know that the scent, the most likely way that chlor is gone, since there's no more scent up there, is further down.
So
Like
if
traveling
chlor is
downstream when
going
you're trying to avoid
southwest
something.
at 20 feet per second, and we're going north
A train leaves London
5
and a
feet
train
per
leaves
second.
Scotland going 85 miles an hour south.
If Jimmy
What
has
time will they
52
cross
apples
the
and
sea?
Susan has 72 oranges and they don't like watermelons,
Realize I didn't grab graph paper this time. I've got plenty of colored writing utensils, so I may have to draw this real quick so that it makes a touch more sense.
Okay, here's if I can get this to.
It assumes that it's background, so you're gonna have to turn off the background blur.
Ah, son of a buckwheat. Now we gotta find a button to do that.
Son of a
Going
buckwheat.
great, guys.
That's a new one. All right.
Okay, this is kind of the way I'm envisioning this. We come in here, and then we've got a pipe that goes that direction and a pipe that goes this direction. So we've come in here, we've gone down here, we've gotten to this big pipe, and then turned around and went back this direction, up here, and going this way and going that way, it gets weaker. Am I not getting that right?
You're close. Well, you're mostly right, yes. So basically the scent as a whole is fading. That's the easiest way of describing it. The scent as a whole is fading. As you head back up the pipe you came, the scent is more present than the large pipe, but not as present as when you first went into the pipe.
Oh, see, there was nothing in the large pipe.
That's what I'm saying, is that you didn't detect anything in the large pipe.
Right.
But by the time you reach the large pipe, but once you go back into the small pipe, it's there, but it's faint. And then as you head up, it's not getting much stronger.
I mean, someone
Really
came
matters.
from upstream and came downstream.
Because
And the scent's
tracking
getting washed away downstream faster.
it doesn't work like what's that creature in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it can just kind of like sniff the air and always pick
Shearshu.
everything. Shearshu, that's what it is. Yes, it's not like the Shearshu where cool, and you can suddenly get wafts of the smell across continents. It's like dog tracking, where it has to be where they went. That's where the. So it's not like you're just picking up wherever he's sitting somewhere. It's you're following the trail of how he got there. Well, the trail he went through, as far as you've moved so far, has had damp, flowing water constantly in it, somewhat constantly in it, and being masked by other pungent things.
Smells.
And the time that's been going on has made that scent become weaker over time. So it wasn't the strongest scent of Chlor was the bathroom, but since then it's only really faded. And now you've reached this huge section where, with the roll that you had, you detected basically nothing of Chlor.
Okay, so two potential scenarios. One, we just went the wrong way, and we should have stayed upstairs because that's where the scent was stronger, apparently. Or two, we were able to smell it in the smaller chamber because he was touching the walls and we were getting ambient scent coming off of that, particles. And then once he hit the major sewage path, he was just out in the middle of the liquid and didn't touch anything else. And as a result, there's no residual anything to dissipate aroma.
And so that is where, with your second survival check after you went back in the tunnel, that's what I was trying to lead you into understanding, was that the tunnel is starting to fade, which means that if he had gone into the larger section, he had to have gone downstream. Because if it was
Well, he
upstream,
didn't have to have gone downstream. He could have gone upstream because the liquid would have washed it either way. As long as he didn't
It would
touch anything other than liquid.
still be more detectable than not. Because that's normal tracking. You just happen to roll low. So that's why I was trying to guide you one direction or the other based off of the results of your perception check within there. Does that track? All puns intended?
It makes sense. It just the way it was expressed didn't make sense to me.
Sorry,
because, no, it's cool. It just because I was thinking like, all right, so if he comes through here, he's going to be touching stuff. So there's going to be scent left there, because whenever you're detecting scents, you're detecting minute, very small particles like 3, 5, 25 parts per million, whatever it might be, depending upon the animal in question. And it just I kept trying to get that to rectify. And it dissipates as time goes by, and I couldn't figure out if it wasn't. Yeah,
it's basically the upwind downwind problem. So at this point,
so do we have a wind down here?
Figuratively speaking, the upwind downwind problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the upflow downflow, upstream downstream problem.
Okay.
Burning Hand can make wind.
You know how like in a movie when someone's trying to avoid a pack of hunting dogs, they usually like go into a stream and they go down the stream to avoid the hounds. That's basically where we are right now.
Okay, so do we
go down?
Do we want to try going downstream?
Yes.
Don't you have to decide
Well,
that? You're the
see, that's
dog.
the thing. That's the thing. All of this conversation is speculative because
for me.
We can't decide any of this.
yeah, Jim is the only one who knows what's all of this context. None of the other characters know.
And
But,
he is
Jim, this is based off of your prior experience, is what the survival check said.
so what does my prior experience say?
That he went downstream.
That downstream is the more likely route.
In that case, then I will try to make my argument to Penn that we should head downstream. Not sure how I'm going to do that. Or
Just turn around and run into him and just keep pushing.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, changed my mind. We're going back this way.
Okay. We're going backwards, guys. Back up.
All right, okay. So Theo backs up first, crawling backwards, and he's gonna like grab hold of Rittingham before Rittingham hits the end of the tunnel,
Carry me.
so that he doesn't wind up in the water again.
Her splash. All right, so you are now back into the wide, wet, dank, flowing. Yes.
Adventure in the wide west somewhere. One is more than I can tell.
Oh my gosh, what could this be? Are we swimming here in pee?
That's where we're going.
Oh, can you smell the odors? All right, we're gonna stop now before we actually turn this into a song.
Yeah, please.
Part.
Oh, is it a musical episode? Special episode 13, the musical episode, everyone.
Please nominate us for a Tony.
I don't even know who Tony
It
is.
smells like a colonoscopy. Anyway.
Given by the vet who came to see your pig last week.
Put it on the Ritz.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. All right, enough of the musical.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are now back to the wide, flowing grossness. Yes,
Yeah.
All right.
and
we're
then Penn and
back.
Bob
We're
leading the way.
Trekking downstream.
Okay.
So
Onward
is it
we
his
go.
dog-like faction? Same way. Penn has to like hold them. Okay, well, if it's not that way, is it this way? This way.
The
Okay.
head bob is an effective form of communication.
Eh,
Head Bob.
As Bob's leading the way, head Bob.
Yeah.
Ooh, didn't even notice
wow.
that one.
We are
Stumbled into that one.
we are great with this tonight. Okay, so you slowly make your way through the pleasantness. Every 30 feet or so, there's some different size tunnel of sorts or tube pipe, kind of spewing in some of its own stuff. Some of them it's kind of steamy as it comes out, and you. I don't mean this in like
Why?
the grossest way possible. I'm actually trying to mean this more like it's just hot liquids, but that doesn't really help.
No.
Hot liquid.
No.
Some of them don't smell. How's this? Especially for Bob, some of them don't smell as foul as others as you pass them. However, I
Basically,
do
there
need
is foul.
some. Definitely, it's dirty water, but it doesn't necessarily reek. It's more
It's
just
more
kind of
shower water.
kitchen water isn't always horrendous. Shower water isn't always horrendous. Some of it,
Gutter
there's
water.
actually more. I mean, Hen is the one who's really experiencing the bulk of this. There's more steam coming out of them in some of them than there is water. It's more just like a jet of hot air that's just kind of slowly making it more humid. But as it gets more humid, whatever that is slowly putting enough pressure down on the stinkier air where it's not as pungent. Bob, I need you to roll me another perception check.
I perceive nothing.
Oh, well,
That
okay
tracks
then.
so far.
19.
Womp.
Nope, 20. Sorry.
Hey, modified 20. Nice.
Woo!
Yay!
You got good rolls tonight so far.
I have gotten good rolls, and I'm not going to jinx it by mentioning it.
Too late.
No, I just did.
Yep. Too late. It's gone. It's game over.
Someone else
So-
roll a nat 1 and we'll fix it right now.
For a moment, as you continue heading down this direction, it's hard to tell if it's just coming along as one of the gusts of steam and funk from one of these other smaller tunnels or what, but you for a moment smell the familiar scent that is chlor. And it's not really... Actually, actually, yeah, that's really it for you for now, is that you do smell it faintly. There's a return of the faint smell of chlor. By the time you pick it up, it's a little bit directionally ambiguous.
Yep. We'll just continue moving then, because if we're...
Also, how long do you stay in dog form?
I forgot.
It is an hour. You stay in beast shape for 1 hour before reverting back.
I have no idea how long we've been involved.
I say, give me a... What is your spellcaster modifier?
Mine means nothing.
It is wisdom. All right, give me a straight wisdom check.
Okay. 13.
You begin to realize that you are very nearing the time, so you can either burn your second wild shape, and I'll let you just kind of perpetuate it.
No, we'll go back and so that we can have, so I can converse with the rest of the party and explain what was happening earlier, blah blah blah, and then go back into dog form after that. But take the opportunity once this expires to actually communicate with everybody in a spoken language.
All right. So for funsies, do you just let it expire while you're still in Pen's arms? Or...
Yep.
Absolutely.
No awareness whatsoever of what time is or what is past.
Let's see.
My Rolex is broken. I don't know how long I've got.
How much does Bob weigh? You didn't put it on your character sheet, so now.
I'm yelling timber.
Correctly, it should be like 130, something like that.
You better dance.
Okay, Pen,
Basically,
I need
I'm going to be a drop.
I need Pen to make a strength saving throw. Which, by the way, because I have, and since you're sickened, it's at disadvantage, or poisoned, it's a disadvantage. So, let's go.
We need 2 nat 20s in a row for this to succeed, guys.
Ooh. Okay.
We got worse.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a 4. So, Bob, we're comfortable, dog form, just kind of chilling out. Pen holding onto you, just kind of helping you sniff around and do stuff. You can't see jack squat, and so you're like, oh, right, my thing's about to end. Huh, what a crazy random and
splash.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Give me a dexterity saving throw, Bob.
Yeah, I was expecting a swim check.
No, it's not moving enough for a real swim check.
10.
You managed to not have your head go under.
Woohoo!
Just for that.
But you do kind of splash down, and you're like, oh, okay. And as you're standing up, you realize you're like dripping head to toe in this, from neck down. And you also need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Rich.
That looks pleasant.
I know I chain a lot of saving throws together, but I think it just adds to the fire.
It does. It really does. Oh, hey.
All right, you some of your dog sense of how potent the odors are down here just kind of like seared into your mind as you came back to your more humanoid form, and so even though you got neck deep in it, you're like, nope, the smell actually doesn't get much worse. Cool. All right, it's more just it's all psychological. It's fine. It's fine. You didn't get any in your mouth. You're good. But now you're neck down in fun
muck.
Is there a wild shape you come back nude?
No, you keep all of your equipment when you wild shape. It's not like lycanthropy where you would tear your clothing off and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the equipment. That's what Penn wants to see. Is all this.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we haven't had to go to a gay bar yet, but
Or a dog bar.
we can make that a side trip. What's wrong, Renningham? You jealous?
That's fine. It's fine.
Y'all sad because we left your girlfriend back at the officers, whatever, guard station?
Oh, the captain and the guard. That's right. They seemed sweet on each other, didn't they? They got along great.
She was sweet on me. I had no intentions.
She likes her guys a little bit taller.
I don't know. She seemed to have kind of a complex, and honestly, I would be okay being stepped on.
What about that gay bar?
All right, I'm learning things about Penn and Renningham. Cool, got it. Logged away. That's a tool we're going to use for later. I completely derailed on thoughts. Right.
Okay.
Bob is now back to being humanoid and just stood up from being neck deep in stuff, and that's when Penn wanted to check out his equipment. Got it.
Sounds about right.
I don't know whether I
That's
should
right
blush.
where we were. Yes, that's exactly where we were, DM. You are correct. And then what happens, DM?
Actually, Penn's just gonna look at Bob and
Actually,
go,
it's
huh.
and
I
then
thought
what
you
happens,
came back
players?
Wait a minute, that was all overlapping. I didn't catch that.
Pen, say that again.
I said, so all in all, as Bob turns back into human and stands back up, Penn's just gonna look and go, huh, I thought you guys came back nude.
No, those are wizards. No, but maybe this is a discussion for some other time.
From the back, Theo pipes up. He says, "Oh, really? Is that an actual thing? Like wizards, whenever they do spells, they come back without clothes? That seems mighty inconvenient to me."
I'm pretty sure you've seen me with clothes and doing spells.
Right, but never seen you doing anything like Bob does, where he turns into a dog.
Hey, I was just caught by surprise. Those were just the words that came out of my mouth. Don't hold me to.
Oh, okay.
It's not every day that you come back from dog form.
So, did you figure out where we're going?
Okay, yes, we have to have the conversation. Okay, convey everything about what happened with the.
Excuse me.
No,
Convey the information. What?
Oh.
What is this? What is this? You can't just yada yada that crap. All puns intended.
Oh. Okay. So here. Oh.
You can summarize, but you don't have to go into all of the ins and outs of why your thought process is what it is, because we spent 20 minutes doing that. But more than just convey.
Okay. So went ahead and came back in human form because I wanted to explain what had happened earlier and why we had to go back and forth, because that was kind of weird. And essentially, it was me being confused about the scent because it wasn't really changing, and then kind of had a little epiphany. And it's like, oh, we need to get back in here and go downstream, which, by the way, I did pick up a little bit more of Chlor's scent while traveling downstream. Sorry about that. I know it was yucky. My bad. And then just kind of summarize that at this point, as far as I can tell, we're really not any closer, but we seem to be moving in the right direction. And by the way, the head bobbing seems to work really well as a form of communication. And thank you for the ride. I like that.
You're welcome.
Head bobbing.
Hey, I had to get that in there somehow.
It fit. Oh, and we're losing the steward for a moment. All right. So, what do you all do now?
Well, I've
I
got
guess if we
another
wanna find-
hour of wild shape, and I was thinking we could continue on this course, and because the scent thing seems to be working. Is anybody have any objection to that?
We could save your wild shape at least a little longer, because if these pipes are still just going to keep going one way, we're probably just going to follow it to wherever it's going. We won't have to waste it. I can see where we're going if we're going to have...
But
I mean, if
do
we
have-
run into a point where we have to make a two, if there are two paths and we have to make a decision, yeah, we could. But so far, we haven't actually run into that where it's necessary.
Right.
Well,
So all the other
haven't-
tubes are.
We've been passing these other tubes, and I've been checking those out. And so maybe just hold off till we get to the next tube, and then because I mean, if they drag him up one of those and we walk past it and we can't smell it, then we're never going to find him.
I think that saving it's probably a good idea.
Okay. And by the way, next time, since I'm catching a ride on Penn, I was thinking maybe I could do a cat, because cats have a really good sense of smell too, and a lot easier to ride along.
I have so many issues with cats in this game, but we'll get into that at a different time.
Why? I thought the Tabaxi were cute.
Oh, the Tabaxi are fine. The cats make no sense.
Oh, okay.
Short version. Rules as written. Cats can't jump. I will just leave it at that.
Really?
Cats can't jump. No.
Yep.
Also, right, didn't we discuss this too? Dark vision?
Oh yeah, cats don't have dark vision. They only have keen senses, which is on smell, which doesn't make sense for cats. And then
Tabaxis have dark vision.
yeah, but tabaxis, like their cat, relatives, words in the friggin' description, they have dark vision.
An
So they say,
elephant
like
can
the
jump
cat-
higher than a cat.
Yes, rules is written, an elephant can outjump a cat by a lot. Cats can't jump vertically, then they can only jump about 3 feet horizontally, so they can kind of like leap out. And then rules is written, an elephant can jump, 9 feet in the air?
Yeah.
And like 20 something feet wide long? Yeah, no, it's...
Makes no sense.
That's a whole... Yeah, that's a whole thing.
I can see where that would be an issue.
So, but we're not gonna go into all that way.
I think
It's just-
that saving your wild
Yeah, we
form
can do that.
thing would be a good idea.
All right.
Right, so now we trudge on, and
I need dexterity saving throws from every. Actually, it's from the 3 who are not carrying people. So Theo, Penn, and Bob.
I'm carrying people.
Well,
oh no,
the people who
human
aren't
right
being
now.
carried. That's what I mean.
He's human right now.
So I need.
That's a 9.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
You asked for tragedy. You're getting tragedy.
No, I know. As you guys now continue down this tunnel, Bob, even though you're kind of leading the way, and now that you're back in ASMR form, you have dark vision now, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. You can now have a much better scope of everything that's going on around you, and you can see, oh yeah, no, it's definitely bigger than where you were and everything. As you continue down, you're the first to feel it. Under your feet, there's a pitch change in the stone, but the water level doesn't change very much.
Now the water is shallower.
Now, is the
No.
pitch up or
The
down?
water would be deeper.
Down.
Okay.
Deeper.
Wait, he said a pitch change. He didn't say if it was upscale or downscale.
That would be more like an octave, but I get what you're going for.
No, I think it was just a key change.
Uptown world. You've been living in an uptown world.
As Theo and Penn become downslide men.
Oh no. Ugh.
And
And
we all get lost
unfortunately,
again.
Renningham, as you all slide underwater.
No.
We cry, yay.
As long as we don't die, yay.
This is so gross.
So, Bob, you're the first one to detect it, and you stop. The other ones beside you don't stop. Mostly because Theo can't see for anything. And, Penn's just not, I guess, as dexterous and was like...
Pen is just loopy sick.
And, I need Constitution saving
I can't help but
throws.
suspect that Penn is still looking for equipment. I don't know.
Penn's trying to check out Bob's equipment
That's
still, yes.
That's an
Perfect.
8. That's an 8 on my con save.
Alright.
You know, that did bring up a question. Is it polymorph other that doesn't do clothing? I know there's a spell that does.
I believe it's polymorph. It's the baleful polymorph. It's one of the polymorph spells that doesn't do clothing.
Okay. I was trying to remember which one it was and couldn't remember.
So, Penn, that save is at disadvantage, by the way. And then,
good.
Renningham, unfortunately, since you're being carried, you need, you're going under with Theo.
My
Although,
Constitution saving throw, you say?
yeah, at disadvantage because you're.
disadvantage because I'm poisoned.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about a 3?
Tell you what, manure is so much different than this.
Theo, you are now poisoned. As you go completely under. You've managed so far to just be like, oh, this is just not comfortable. And then the smell changed. At first you were like, oh, okay. But now the slip, you go under, you get a mouthful. It's just not a good time. Renningham, Renningham, that was your fear. And so the retching that you've been holding in is while you're under. It's just all of your own. Yeah, no.
Oh no.
Penn, you're not that much better off, as each of you take 1 point of Constitution damage.
Ugh.
Yuck.
It's just a straight damage. Okay.
So it's Constitute. It's damage to your con score. So there would be it's a negative modifier.
Wait, really?
You're taking con damage.
I feel like we haven't taken any kind of rest or anything. That's crazy.
You haven't. You didn't get a complete rest.
I am not having a good time.
No, you are not, as your Constitution is now a 10. But luckily, you didn't lose a modifier, so...
It's true.
Unfortunately, Penn did. Anyway, so you guys managed to get your footing out and, back just a touch. Theo, Penn, you're above water as the liquid drops basically another foot or so, and so now what was, it's now up just above your waist.
I'm billing for the spa and rejuvenation retreat. I'm going to need to survive the rest of my life after this.
Yeah, but Clore doesn't have, anything really to his name. You're not really gonna get paid back.
Penn's just gonna glare at Theo hard enough to hopefully shut up and be like, I didn't ask for words, Reagan.
Okay.
Theo
Now.
cannot see the glare at all.
Okay.
Unless Penn uses an ability of some sort to make their eyes glow, which I don't know if you have.
I do. I have thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy.
Okay. I mean...
So it's
if
just
you
gonna
want
be
to-
red little burning eyes.
Kind of remind me of some of the deer that you can see. When you shine a light on them, their eyes kind of glow sometimes. It's
It's not
pretty cool.
reflective, it's fire.
It's still very neat. I like it.
It's fire, guys.
It's a very neat trick,
I'm
Ben.
telling you, it's fire.
Pen is
In a
gonna
past...
Pen is
Sorry,
gonna kick Thor's ankle.
You mean Theo's ankle?
Whatever.
I don't like what's happening. They're fighting each other.
Because Rinningham is like in Theo's arms, and so Penn just kind of like
It's dangerous.
kicks at the ankle. Not enough to lose your balance, not enough to cause any damage, just kind of yeah. Now, there's some insight that I've just garnered that I didn't know about Theo, is that Theo's deer around where they grew up happen to be basically demonic because their eyes glow like fire as opposed to just reflective red, but that's a discussion for another time.
Look, man, what can I say? I live in a nuclear
Was it really just herds of Wendigo that she thought were deer?
Oh, no.
Has anyone taken time to explore if Theo actually has a living family?
Oh, that's just me.
Ew. Excuse me, he does. We hope, for now. Oh, no.
I mean, are you
proof.
guys openly discussing this? Is Penn doing this in character? Are we going there? Are we having a moment?
No one wants to commit.
No, I don't want to go there. No, thank you.
Everyone's
Definitely has a
like,
living
no.
family.
All right.
Also, by the way, since I'm slow on the uptake sometimes and don't realize things, I'm just now figuring out that my compatriots don't have the ability to see in the dark, so I'm going to cast the light cantrip so that there's some light in it.
Aw.
There we go.
Thank you. Well, that was mighty nice of you, Bob.
And it's
Sorry,
still
I just now
glaring at
realized that
Theo.
you guys couldn't see. My bad.
What? I was just pointing out the facts, Penn.
Theo says, as you know, there's still bits of stuff dripping. It's all in your hair. It's all like, Penn, you're gonna be scrubbing this stuff out of your horns and stuff for a while. Rinningham, you guys are exposed to a particular blend of colors and textures that you have not seen before.
And looks at
Luckily-
the ceiling and goes, maybe we should turn the light back off.
Yeah, it's almost worse now that I know. Now that I know what we're crawling through.
Well, we can turn the light off if you guys want. I'm okay with it.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I've just been following after everyone. Though I can say this, if we happen to get to wherever it is that we're going and there's not enough light, then I might be in trouble if we have to get into any sort of difficult situation with other individuals.
Are you referring to a tussle?
Is that the same thing as a brawl?
Well, a little bit lighter than a brawl. It's sort of like
Okay,
a
then-
brawl, a diet brawl.
Then yeah,
More than a
probably.
skirmish.
Yes.
That's a fight, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about a fight.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll leave it on for a few minutes. If you guys decide that you're uncomfortable with it, you can just let me know and we'll turn off the light. But
I
at
mean,
the
I'm just
meantime-
thinking here, it might be difficult to see just as well if you just suddenly dim the light without warning. It might be better to take some time now to adjust to the darkness before we continue onward.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, there's still only one way forward, though. We're gonna have to go.
Yes, we should continue forward.
Yes.
Knowing now that it goes deeper.
Ugh.
The DM has something to say.
While there's a light, does anyone want to make a perception check?
You know what? Fine, sure.
My eyes are
Disadvantage.
screwed shut. I'm
Roll 1.
All I'm saying is
That's
score
roll
needs to
2.
be-
That's a grand 8, DM.
Theo, unfortunately, you're still trying to get all the gunk out of your eyes. You know, you're having part of this conversation and you're blinking and doing, and then something slid in, and now there's like this nasty burning sensation, and it takes you a second to clear it. Yeah, you're not seeing anything of real use. All right. So, anyone else, or are you guys just gonna?
I know I got one in my perception. Sometimes still at disadvantage.
Oh no.
All right, Penn.
I see nothing.
No. In fact, where Theo has gunk in their eye that keeps them from seeing. You haven't actually opened your eyes yet. You did the thaumaturgy with them shut because you could just feel all of the stuff. And your hands are just as dirty as the rest of you, so like, are you really just gonna wipe your face off?
Nope, nope. I'm going through this part blind. Sorry.
Well,
all right.
Since we're all discussing what we're seeing, I'll be a copycat. Oh, hey.
All right, so Bob, you take advantage of the moment and look around, and because you're not poisoned yet. I think you're the only one in the party who's not poisoned yet.
I noticed you
think he's
used the
even
word
nauseous.
yet, as if it were an inevitability.
Bob's still holding on strong.
More just like a perpetuating
Expectation.
possibility. You look around, and as you look further down, you can kind of see where the roof of the tunnel, about 15 feet or so down through some of the haze, seems to kind of dip in to the liquid.
It's going to be so much fun when we get there.
Ugh.
However, just to the right
Pen
of
looks
where that...
looks towards the sound of Bob and goes, "When we get where?"
Oh, there's a downward hook coming up.
How down?
I can't tell from here.
However, just off to the right of it, there's another tunnel that you can see. It's hard to tell how wide it is, but it definitely looks like one of those drainage type things that is flowing in roughly to right at the end of wherever that ceiling comes down to.
Well, when we get there, I sure hope I know which direction the ascent goes.
So as you guys continue heading down, every couple of feet or so, the slant beneath you just kind of goes down another level. So you go from waist deep to a couple inches, and then a couple more steps, and it's a couple inches, and then as you're approaching now where Jim saw this tube, and it's about 18 inches across, and it has a pretty steady flow of what appears to be, from what you and Penn can see. Wait, did you keep the light on, or is the light out?
Lights on.
Lights on. This water appears to be mostly clear. It's only slightly murky, but it's not the opaque, pungent,
yucky
color. Yeah, there is a bit of steam kind of rising off of it as it kind of pours in, but it's almost like a perfect pour. It's not making much splashing. There's not much. It's just kind of like whatever stream it is, and it's warmer water coming out of an 18-inch-ish hole. And you guys are now up to about here, and then you can see about a couple feet further where the ceiling does in fact dip down and touch the water.
That's yucky.
Can we feel that the water is clearer? Like, can we feel that it's more water than...
He kept the light on so you can see it.
Penn hasn't opened his eyes.
Oh.
Well, that's gonna be fun. Tunnel looks like it's getting a little bit lower, less headroom between us and the water up ahead, guys.
I am not getting back under the water.
I mean, for what it's worth, it doesn't look as gross here.
That's what they all say.
I'm being honest with you right now. It's not the same off color as it was.
Off color. I like that.
Penn's gonna begrudgingly accept Theo's words as true and attempt to rinse his hands a little bit and then try and peel the rest of the crud off of his face.
Question about
answer.
Liquid. Is it an object?
No.
Yes. It's a state of matter.
It's a state of matter, but it doesn't count as an object. So depending on what you're trying to go for, just as a simple description, if you were to use a spell that allows you to create an object, and you were to be like, oh, I would like to make this object a potion of healing. Well, you'd be able to make the vial, but you wouldn't have a potion in it.
Right.
So I want a tankard of ale. You can make the tankard, but it's not going to have ale in it.
DM, where do we fall in corpses? Are they objects?
That is an ethical question that we are not going to get into at this particular juncture.
We will soon.
We will when it's
Asking
more
for
relevant.
future reference. I mean, I figure it might be useful to maybe some people here in the party.
Thanks, I hate it.
You'll love it. You'll love it so much.
I was only asking because maybe I could clean an object. I could clean a cubic foot of water as I'm crawling through it. But that's fine.
All right. So, Pen, yes, you are able to feel the water, and it is very hot. Like, uncomfortably hot. Like, you would... Actually, I don't know what Pen's shower references are, but
He's a tiefling.
that means very little, because tieflings are closer to humans than they are to demons for the most part. So I don't actually think you get any sort of like natural resistances to heat or anything like that. So yeah, it's... Oh, actually, no, you do have resistance. You literally have resistance to fire.
I was about to say, wait a second, yes I do.
You have hellish resistance. Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm thinking there's...
Thinking Pathfinder tieflings?
I am thinking Pathfinder tieflings because they have lots of alternate racial traits where you can kind of swap certain things out.
Pathfinder tieflings are cool too.
They're all really cool, if we're honest.
So it feels like my showers.
Yes, and you realize that to the average not tiefling, that this might be freaking hot. You don't take any damage from it, but you are able to recognize that it is up there and right around the threshold for you becoming uncomfortable. So it's not boiling, obviously, but it explains the steam, it explains just kind of the humidity that has changed as you reach this end, and
This is the worst spa we could have gone to.
but it's mostly clean from what you can tell. There's only a faint, it's mostly translucent. I mean, it's transparent, slightly translucent. The coloring that's coming through is like a greenish gray.
I'm gonna make sure my face is clean and I can see properly.
I would offer to assist, but I don't have a clean piece of fabric to use as a washcloth.
It's fair.
Because I pretty much took a full body swim.
Oh yeah.
I mean, any assistance I would try to lend would just make things worse.
All right.
Okay, onwards and upwards. Or down.
So I think we're at the juncture where Jim was considering going into wild shape again.
Yes. All right, so I was thinking that, because cats have incredibly good sense of smell, and not being a cat brain, I would actually be able to communicate effectively, and it would be lighter and easier to ride along on Pen. Is there, aside from the fact that a cat can't jump, is there any other reason why I wouldn't want to do that?
I would allow cats to jump more normally as opposed to rules as written.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pretty reasonably clear the counter, and with effort clear, hit the top of a fridge, that's not unreasonable.
Okay.
It's a cat thing.
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to check with Pen. Hey, mind if I go back into wild shape here? Except this time I'm going to do a cat, so it'd be easier to carry me if you don't mind. Are you okay with that, or?
And just nods, accepting his fate in this pathetic sewer.
Sweet. I have a steward. All right.
Jim looks at him and goes, "I'm gonna remember that when I need to borrow you as a horse."
That's fair. That's fair. You remind me of that, and we'll make it happen. Okay. So wild shape into a cat and kick in the super sensitive smelly and see what I can find.
All right. Do you just hop onto Pen, or do you go into the tunnel at all?
Well, isn't there flowing water in the tunnel?
Yes, it's flowing in your direction.
So if I go up in there and then turn into a cat, it's going to be like pushing a 5 to 7 pound cat back out, isn't it?
It's not flowing rapidly. It's enough that you can like wash your hands and stuff in it, but it's also an 18-inch hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's not like it's just pouring out. It's
yeah. I wasn't sure what the flow rate was.
At its deepest, it's like an inch and a half.
physics.
It's just flowing. Yeah.
Okay.
Minecraft physics. Yeah.
All right, that'll work. All right, so yeah, I'll do that, and then that way I'll have a footing and not like be trying to swim in muck that's over my head. I like that idea.
Okay.
All right,
so
cool.
you kind of make your way up into the tunnel, and you cat form. Professor McGonagall, it just kind of. And you quickly realize how freaking hot the water is. You do not have resistance to fire. You take 2 points of damage as you scald your little kitty paws.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention the water's a little hot.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
So, you guys watch as Bob starts to climb himself up there, and as he does, he transforms into a cat, and he lands his paws right into the water, and you watch as the poor pads on his feet, he just kind of like scooches up and is just... You take 2 points of damage of your 3 total hit points.
Pen lifts him out of the water very quickly.
However, in those moments that it was an instant hit. You were like, That's Chlor. That's Chlor. That's Chlor. And you, now that you're back out and in Pen's hands, it is less potent. But it was definitely detectable in that tunnel. And that's where we're going to take a break. Hello, we're back. So, right before break, Bob had turned into a cat. Started going up the tunnel that had shown where there's hot but cleaner water.
Scalded his paws.
Scalded his little tootsies, his little toe beans are all red and uncomfortable, and mostly because, you know, Pen just didn't think anything of it when they were washing their hands, because, you know, it's like, hey, resistance to fire, and this is cool.
Boiled beans on cats are not a good thing, DM.
It's true. However, you did get a strong scent of a familiar friend that is Chlor, coming from the direction of this tunnel. Now,
the direction we will try to go.
18-inch diameter tunnel, so it's, you know, a little bit more compact, closer to like when you first got in back in the bathrooms. At the deepest, in the middle, is where it's 1.5 to 2 inches deep with liquid, and so there's probably a span about yay wide where there's the hot water flowing through, and you just happen to be...
Here's a hypothetical question.
Can I give a hypothetical answer?
Theoretical question. If the water is hot enough to scald a cat, is it hot enough to scald the party members? I mean, are we going to get to the other end and be medium rare?
I'll be okay.
Soft boiled.
Give me a... I mean, you can either just
we'll
try
out.
another...
Yeah, I'm riding on Pen, so I'm not worried. I'm just curious about everybody else.
There's not going to be really much room for you to ride on Pen, all things considered.
Oh,
it's a tunnel they're going to have to crawl through.
Dang it, I'm going to have to get my paws wet again?
Wait, well...
You're small. You could, like, walk to the side of the water.
I was gonna say, actually, even at 18 inches, and it's a cat, he could lay flat on my back, and there should be space. Or if not, he should be able to fit under my coat on my back, and there'd be space.
18 inches is only, like... There's not much room on your back. 18 inches is only about yay big.
1.5 feet.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
I can fit with my horns, then the cat can fit, like, on my neck. If my horns can fit.
Now, you want the cat to fit on your neck or your back?
Well, that juncture where it's...
No, you missed it. I wasn't going to say that because it's a cat, because the next line is...
The next line is, you know, it's, I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Gosh darn it! I just figured it out. Ugh.
Yeah. Pen's neck, his back.
Yeah, okay, we don't need to continue.
It's like when you were scoping out, you know, the burning building, you went to the windows to the walls. Ski.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I'm going to say it would be incredibly uncomfortable for Bob to ride on Pen's back for both party members as they crawl through the tunnel.
Okay, so it was just a fantasy. That's what I'm hearing. Not a viable reality.
No.
Rats.
We're a little kitty, so you could, in theory, try to kind of like walk on the side of it.
Oh yeah,
away
yeah,
from
that,
the water.
yeah. That's what we'll be doing because I'm a cat, and when it comes to water,
You're a cat. You're a kitty cat.
yep.
You like to dance and you like to dance?
Dance.
We're keeping this very PG for my mind.
Good. I mean, this is technically not for children, but there are areas we just don't need to go to. Anyway, all of that to say, yes, there's the tunnel, there's water. Poor Cat Bob is, down to 1 hit point.
I'm looking at that water and pissing every now and then.
Good one. I like that.
I mean, he did go woof then purr.
So, yeah.
See?
Yeah, but that's a dog cat, not a cat dog.
This is Cat Bob.
Right.
It's the remix.
Anyway.
version.
Are we floating with copyright infringement?
No. I haven't sung enough of the bars.
Okay, cool. It's like, what, 30 seconds or something?
Something like that.
So we press onward, DM.
Yes. So, what's the marching order?
I'm still being
Brennan
carried.
first.
There's no way.
Brenningham, you're not going to be able to be carried into the 18-inch tunnel.
Theo is a big dude. There's no way that you can ride on Theo while he is.
It's a miracle that Theo's allowed to fit, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Theo's shoulders, from shoulder to shoulder, are more than 18 inches.
It's definitely an uncomfortable shuffle.
It's what we call a narrow space in D&D. It's difficult terrain for Theo. Definitely.
Rules is written, it's difficult terrain for everyone except Cat Bob and Rinningham.
Yeah, definitely for poor Theo. Like, if he has to turn around, he's got to go backwards.
Alright.
Yeah, he's just got to scoot back and shuffle. So, marching orders. Who's, Meow,
meow, meow, meow.
Pen's going first, or I guess after Bob.
Yeah, I'll follow Pen.
And I'll bring up the rear.
Because Theo got that cake.
Cool.
Does he, though? That's a question that I haven't even thought about.
Good. You should think long and hard about it.
I mean, that's really entirely up to you, and however you decide to design Theo as a character. Anyway,
Who knows? Moving on.
Bob,
I'll add that to the list of questions. Like, is the family farm infested by Wendigos? Does Theo even have a live family at this point? How much cake do Theo have?
Is it all trauma? Does he think he has a family back home? Is he just sending the money to nowhere?
Yes!
Like a Wendigo with like a hoard of treasure, and they're just thinking to themselves like, do I have to pay taxes on this?
New people have moved into the old house, and money keeps showing up, and they're like,
No.
Sam, we're going to be having some conversations after this session.
No! Look, his backstory's already traumatic enough. We don't need to add to it.
I don't know. This is a pretty good backstory.
What if his backstory is everything he just told himself to be okay with it? Anyway, all of that to say, so, Bob, you, much more gingerly, you're, like, keeping on the sides of the water, for a cat, you're having to waddle walk it a little bit, but it's doable. The stone, as you're walking along, is warm, but not, it's uncomfortable because your front paws are raw, not your back paws. So it's just, yeah. Pen, you're right behind and doesn't bother you any. However, for the actually, we'll do Rinningham and then Theo's. Rinningham, it is uncomfortably hot. Can I get you to roll?
Still poisoned, right?
You are still poisoned.
Yes.
That's going to be around for a little bit. All of you guys are, except for Bob. I'm going to need you to roll another Constitution saving throw.
About a 2.
2 is unfortunately a 14, so that's 9.
Flat 2.
You take 1 point of fire damage. Well, like, you burn. Your hands burn, and you're like, oh, hey, it's hot. And then you kind of realize you're going to have to kind of straddle the water as well. Theo, for you kind of see that everyone's being a little bit tender-footed with it all, but you unfortunately see it a little too late, and your one hand is already kind of on its way in before you see Rinningham just be like, no, hot. And so you will take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
So, the crawl begins. The trek.
It's rather than a pub crawl, it's a sewer crawl.
What's the difference?
Oh!
Especially when it's dive bars. Hey.
I want to speculate that where you wake up in the morning.
Why that one?
I'm trying to think of where the sewer crawl is.
One.
Yeah, where's the Game of Thrones from the sewer crawl?
Oh, maybe she's referring to the last season.
Oh.
I mean,
that's straight up. That's straight up Cuyahoga, river fires, just the sewage fires. That was totally a hazard I didn't think of until literally just now.
No!
You are out of the spot that it would have been the most prevalent. Anyway.
Goodness.
So sad.
You were going to give us the fickle finger of fate, weren't you?
I don't like the way that sounded.
Have you been
Have
you been here the last, previous 12 episodes of this campaign? If anything, for that comment, roll me some percentile dice.
Now you're just being vengeful.
That's okay.
Honestly.
He can say that.
29.
I'm gonna take these bleeds and shove them up your nose.
Oh, percentage. I was like, man, that's a crazy roll.
Alright, so.
You smell kerosene. What?
No!
Bob, you immediately as you're hopping back up and you take a couple steps in that direction, as everyone else is kind of filing in behind you, and you don't even really need to intentionally be like seeking out the smell. While the water that's flowing beneath you, to you, has a slightly sulfurous smell to it. It's not overwhelming, and it doesn't take more than a few feet of going up for the dastardly stench of everything behind you to kind of start to fade off. But as you head up just a few feet, the scent of chlor becomes significantly stronger.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's not as strong as it was when you were in the bathroom, but it's definitely stronger than when you were in the tunnel to recheck it. Did you freeze again?
So in my kitty be thinking we're going the right direction.
In your kitty thinking you are going the right direction. I mean, you keep all your mental stats, but yeah, you're going the right direction. Okay, in your kitty brain.
You get to say that. You don't get to say very much.
That is a fair point. You could be yourself or you could be a cat. I'd honestly choose to be a cat. That's just,
Yeah, valid.
All right, so yes.
Like, why don't cats ever truly take over the world? Because they're always napping.
And that's the other part is, don't they kind of already rule most of us anyway?
Exactly.
Who would open the cans for them if they eliminated the human race?
See, that's where they'll just start to eat you.
Wet food, though. They need wet food. Eventually we'll run out, and the wet food cans will be unopenable.
Wait, why would they need wet food?
Because wet food is like good stuff. And kitty
Yeah,
Go-Gurt.
They don't need it. They can survive off everything else. They don't need it.
Yes, but when they're trapped in a house. Anyway, digression. Let's go back to the adventure. The adventure at hand.
Paul?
So Bob is leading the way, and definitely smells more chlor as you head up the pipe.
All right, cool.
The downside is, as you head up, that the humidity in the air increases. So before it was kind of like a, bathroom level humidity. Then you got to the stink zone, and it was a warm, dank, gross humidity. This is just hot.
Welcome to the stink zone.
Well, I think it's just hot.
You can say that out loud. You can say that out loud, Theo. Just say it. Just go for it.
I'm sorry, I had to make the joke. We got Bob in cat form, right? I haven't heard like a nya pun yet, so here we go. Cat boy, cat girl, non-binary.
Ha! That's clever.
That
made me laugh. That made me laugh.
It's the right level of groan where you got a good pun in there, but it's just like, but why?
It's like a har.
Because I had to, okay? I could not.
I see what you did there.
Sorry to digress.
And I'll raise you a limerick.
That's what most of our sessions are. Okay.
That's fair. All right, so heading up. So the rest of you guys, Bob's feeling it first as you continue to head up, but the air is just getting thicker and it's just getting hotter and it's just uncomfortable humidity. For the most part, Bob, because you transformed into cat mode, the humidity is clinging to your fur and kind of like helping clean off some of the gunk because you technically keep your dirt on you when you transform into other things. And so you're getting a sweaty bath, but it's still better than no bath. However, for the rest of you humanoids, it's mostly just enough to make you uncomfortable and sweaty and gross, and not really so much to clean you. No prestidigitation levels of cleanliness going on here. But up ahead,
at some point, I need to find somewhere where I can just stop and sit down and just start cleaning. Cat grooming.
I mean, if you want to.
I mean, if you could lick
you could do that just to see the reaction of the rest of the party. Come on!
I mean, sure.
I mean, we're not going to do
that. You want to roll
a
Constitution saving throw again? Because that's how you roll another Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that it's happening.
With the cat's stats on that, by the way.
Yeah.
So you continue heading up, and you hear it first. Again, cat ears and senses, but it doesn't take long for the rest of the party to be able to hear it. The sound of flowing water, but also occasional waves of what sounds like flash boiling, just steam, just kind of, and with it you can feel a slight increase in the wave of heat as it comes down the pipe that you're in before it kind of passes again, and it starts to cool off relatively before 45 seconds, a minute later, you hear another distinct as more steam just kind of billows down, And the other part is that as you head up the tunnel, there hasn't been much of a detectable pitch, but there's less and less visible water in the bottom. But the temperature as you've walked along hasn't changed by very much.
It's a spritz.
But non-spritz.
There we go. We brought it full circle.
Yeah, we did. We've come full circle. All right. So the other thing that you notice off in the distance, and Pen, you can actually see this as well, is that there is a faint bluish-white light about 60 feet out, the very end of the tunnel. And every time you hear that noise, it's but seconds before the light kind of dims and flickers in a misty fashion, and then the wave of heat passes by you, and then it clears up again.
It is a sauna.
This would be the worst place in the world for a sauna.
Yes.
As you keep going and heading towards the end of the tunnel, give me a perception check based on sight, so you don't get advantage on it, Jim. Sorry. You and Pen, because you're up front. Give me perception checks as you guys reach the end of the tunnel. And as you reach the end of the tunnel, you also notice that it's where was an inch deep of water is now just like a little tiny trickle right at the where you guys are going.
I rolled a 10.
Okay, so you peek your heads out and you can see that the faint bluish light appears to be coming from the bottom of a large pool. Directly outside of this pipe is a concrete platform, about a foot down from the ground. The ceiling is tall enough that you can stand. There's a large pool of water that has a faint bluish glow to it. In this room, it's mostly dim light. And every 45 seconds to a minute, you see across from this pool, and there's a path, the concrete path does go around, there is another pipe, and that pipe funnels in it's not water, it's a colored, dark, flowing mass of something that flows into this lit pool and instantly evaporates into steam. And you can see some of it goes up, some of it heads in the pipe in your direction, and there's a couple of other smaller vents that appear to take some of this steam as it flows.
What?
It's molten aluminum. We're in a foundry. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
That's what's, obvious right as you get out here. That's only what Penn and Bob can see because they're up front.
Yeah.
It was different.
The room, for reference, you guys are kind of coming in dead center. The room is about 25 feet by about 40 feet deep.
Thank you. That was what I was wondering about.
You guys are coming in like dead center on one of the 25-foot lengths. You guys are coming in this way. The pool is in the middle. There's about a 10-foot all the way around it pathway. It's very steamy. You can see like a bunch of it is lingering just a few feet above your heads. It's about a 12-foot ceiling, but much beyond the about 8 feet is where you can see that there's just lots of lingering steam and mist. It's hot. It's uncomfortably hot. Much hotter than you think you'd, start to really feel it. And then every so often it gets that wave of heat as more whatever it is kind of pours into the pool. The pool doesn't seem to deplete. It doesn't seem to be making the pool any lower every time it happens. It's just instantly steam just kind of billows out and goes off in some different directions. Each time it does, your ears don't really pop, but you can feel the air pressure change as it, as the steam goes off.
This is peculiar.
Well, this is different.
A hole in the ground. All right,
Kind of nice different, to be honest, after everything we've been through.
What's different? What you seeing up there, Pen?
Well,
I'm thinking we should step out onto this landing so that everybody else can come out here and take a look, and we can get an idea, get some opinions on this, because this is weird.
Yeah.
You just kind of plop down, and the
walking out with the tail in the air like you just don't care.
Concrete is warm. It's not as warm as what you were just walking in, but it's still warm.
Has anyone tried? There's the blue. It's the liquid that's dripping is blue, or it's dripping onto something that's blue.
So there's blue light kind of emanating around from this pool of liquid.
It
looks
pool
like water.
Of radiance.
And there's a pipe on the other end of the room, so 40 feet down on the opposite side. That is kind of every couple seconds to there's a wave of just this darker material that just kind of pours into it and instantly flashes into steam.
Okay. Well, have we tried plugging the pipe?
What? Why would we do that?
See what happens.
I don't like. I'm a little verklempt. It's a little hot down here, and I think that steam has something to do with it. And I'd rather not have that steam.
I mean, or we could just hurry our way through on the pathway to the other side and get out of this steamy room instead of trying to block up a pipe, which might take some time, possibly incurring more damage to us, and also maybe messing up things for whatever needs the steam in the pipes.
And smiles to himself. I don't know. Might be fun to see what happens.
Oh, God.
The last time I think someone said that, someone wound up with a rock injury.
I regret everything.
Meow, 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 meow.
Ken's gonna reminisce about how he just like ended the lives of like thousands of people.
It was only a couple hundred. It was a couple of hundred. It wasn't thousands, it was a couple
Not
hundred.
bad.
If there's nothing
Stories
stopping us
expand
from
every
walking forward, we should just walk forward.
Right.
Walk
exactly.
onward.
Alright, you guys head on
I'm
around
jumping
the
on
right.
Pen. Screw this. Pavement's hot.
I can pick you back up.
Cool.
Yeah, so you guys are now able to stand and not be in.
I pick Bob back up.
Brittingham, you want to ride so you don't have to touch the pavement?
Bob purrs.
You guys all don't even feel really the heat of the pavement through your footwear. It's not all like it's not over. It's uncomfortable just in general. The warmth of the ground is not.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not overwhelming. We're not gonna
No,
get
not to you guys.
perfect.
Yet another wave of this dark material just kind of pours in at the other end, and just instantly steam and a waft of heat kind of moves in your direction.
Is there any sense of, or is there any aroma that would give us a hint as to what this dark liquid is or what's going on in this room?
Give me a straight intelligence check.
Yeah, I got a 12.
You did the save.
That was a save.
Oh, that was a save.
not
I'm sorry.
Ooh, 13.
One higher. All right. Every time the steam kind of blows by, you get another whiff of that sulfurous smell.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So some of whatever that is reacting with whatever this pool is, and there's steam, there's heat, and the smell of sulfur. And you smelt it when you were in the tunnel before too, and so this seems to be
the source.
The source. Give me another perception check, real quick, with advantage this time, because you're out of the stink tunnel.
The stink tunnel.
I was being polite.
A very polite way to put it.
17?
You can definitely still smell lore. Now, identifying which direction currently, it's not as easy, but it's definitely stronger than it was when you hopped into the tunnel. So it feels like the right direction.
He has been through here. They doused him in sulfuric acid.
This is a really terrible time for me to tell you. Dave wanted a different character now.
Yikes.
Write me out, DM. Write me out.
I kid. So yeah, there's kind of a route. It's kind of hard to see specifics as, what's going on the opposite side. So you kind of have a route to the right, route to the left. So pick a direction.
Well, I'm along for the ride until I get some kind of sense of direction.
So Pen's just gonna start going right as right until it's wrong.
High or low,
Leo
Pen?
follows after.
Yeah, just start going.
Low.
Hey, okay. So you guys start to walk along the right-hand side. And as you're heading down, it doesn't take you very long to notice that there is actually a bit of a, kind of pulse. It's a slow pulse to the glow in the light in the pool. And it seems to grow just to its brightest right around the same time that another dumping of whatever that dark material is into the pool that instantly turns it into steam. And then it'll fizzle down and then it starts to glow up again before the next dump of things. It's subtle if you hadn't, it wasn't as obvious from the tunnel, but now that you're standing right next to it and have been walking along, it's a little bit more obvious. And as you reach the other side, you have a much better view of this this pipe. And the pipe is just shy of, 12 inches in diameter. And you can now see that it's not a liquid that's pouring out. It appears to be some sort of dark powder, very fine powder, and the humidity in the air is probably what's keeping it from pluming out all over the place as it pours into the pool. And for a moment you can kind of see where the pool kind of gets all murky as the boiling happens. However, it is the hottest area that you've been in thus far, and it's not comfortable to be there.
It's powdered sodium.
There does, however, happen to be a stone and iron door just to the right of where this pipe is.
We found a door. We're gonna go. I'm gonna knock on the door first.
Someone's in here. Someone's in here.
Occupied.
Someone's drumming up a business in that bathroom stall.
So you knock on the door, and as you touch it, you feel how it's freaking hot. It's been, sitting here next to all of this going on for who knows how long, but you don't get a response. And as you knock it, you actually don't hear much of like an echo. It's a very solid door.
I'm gonna look at Bob, probably blink at each other, and then go ahead and open the door.
It is locked.
Only we had the road.
Guys, the door is locked.
Oh gosh, do none of you have like lockpicking instruments?
No.
No.
None of you are proficient with lockpicking tools. Oh, this is gonna be fun. All right, well, cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait. Okay, so that's the decision? We all look amongst ourselves and none of us has the tools to nicely open the door, correct?
I sure can't. I tried knocking.
What do the hinges look like?
From this side, you cannot see hinges.
So it swings toward us? I guess we wouldn't know.
Swings away from us.
Away from us. You said it's an iron door?
Stone and iron.
Has iron features or is mostly iron?
Iron features. You would guess that they're more like reinforcements and, abilities to lock things where you couldn't really do that in the stone directly. You could surmise that the hinge is probably also iron. Not that you can see it.
Ooh.
Should I just blow up the lock?
Yes.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Is there a keyhole on our side, clearly?
Make an investigation check. So a 14. So you kind of spend some time kind of going along, and there's no real handle or anything like that. However, there's a spot where one of the iron bands that goes across slides away, and there is a keyhole. It goes into what appears to be some sort of metal mechanisms. It's a very robust door.
I'm about to break stuff unless somebody has an alternative.
I got a question about my gloves of metal molding. Is it only against metal, or is it impervious to all things temperature?
It is impervious to all things temperature.
Okay, so...
Up to whatever the degrees is that I put on that.
27,000.
Yes, that's right.
2,700.
That's right.
2,700.
Yeah, 2,700. You can mess with raw platinum with that, like molten platinum.
Oh, that's so cool.
So,
but you can't generate that heat. You can only resist the heat.
Right. So, am I able to tell if the black powder coming out of this pipe is hot itself? Like, is that what's causing the sizzle? If I get close enough to the powder, can I kind of be like,
make an investigation check.
With disadvantage. Okay, well, so that's a 2.
We're doing great.
Wait, an investigation check? How did you get a 2? Your investigation is a +2.
4.
Okay.
4.
I
forgot I had any kind of modifier. I just assumed I was stupid.
I was like, how did you roll a 0?
Birmingham is just not feeling the best right now.
I have
Okay,
a very particular set of skills.
His goals are beyond your understanding, DM.
Ah, I see.
I just want to suck.
Phrasing? Are we still doing phrasing?
At the
Goes back to our conversation from much earlier.
It all circles back. All right, so you kind of lean as close as you can and try to take a look at it, and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no. With disadvantage?
With, unfortunately, disadvantage.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
hold on a second. No. I could have sworn that I had something fancy. Okay, anyway. With disadvantage, that is a 6. Because, of course. My first roll was an 18. That would have been nice. I would have liked to have that.
Oh.
So DM, I have a question. Are we considering saves ability checks?
Are saves not included on that, on poisoned?
It's attack rolls and ability
shoot,
checks.
you're right. It is ability checks.
Okay, so then I roll a 20.
Well, saves would be ability checks.
Nope.
Really, anything that uses your ability modifiers would be ability
No,
checks.
I don't think it would. I don't think it counts.
Because that's what makes poison
DM
such a problem.
Yeah, DM rules. No matter what, we're fine.
So, Rinningham, as you're leaning over trying to figure out what this material is it hot, is it cause a thing, you're not paying attention to your footing, and there's moisture in the air, and stone, so it gets kind of slick, and you just you fall in. Instead of being able to investigate what is coming out of, you just straight up fall into the liquid.
Oh, I would rather not.
The liquid is freaking cold.
Interesting.
Like, frigid cold. Roll me a Constitution saving throw. Because you went all in, buddy.
6.
It's not that bad. You take 3 points of cold damage.
So, okay.
And as you do, some of the black, gray powder kind of pours in, but a few inches from you, and instantly turns into steam, and the wave of heat comes off the steam, but you do notice that in a fraction of a second before it hit the water, you did not feel any distinct heat coming from the material. It wasn't until it hit that instantly there was billows of steam. You are literally right next to it as it happens. However, the fact that you are just doused in cold water saves you from having to take lots of damage from being next to, instant flash boiling.
The material itself was the reaction, from what I could tell.
From what you can tell, it was the reaction of whatever this material is hitting whatever this liquid is. This liquid is freaking cold.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So, can I resurface and get out of this?
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of splashed in, so yeah, you're not far from the edge. You can pull yourself out, and as you do, everyone can see your next to dying drowned rat self.
Okay.
You're now engulfed in just the warmth again, so the shivering doesn't take very long to subside as the freaking cold that water was compared to everything else that's around. I say water, liquid.
Right.
Tastes like water, just freaking cold.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm gonna get out and say,
you have learned the hard way that it is water.
Yeah, it's just like super cold water, super chilled.
You all right there, Rinningham?
That water is pretty cold, and whatever it does causes the the powder itself, which isn't hot, but the reaction causes extreme heat. So I propose we somehow put some water on the door and then throw this powder at it.
Maybe you put the powder on the door and then throw water on it.
Or that's probably easier. The first one. Put powder in the lock, splash some water on it. At bingo, bango, bongo.
Bingo, bango,
well, you've got the safety gloves, sir.
Well, it's not hot in and of itself. I mean, I guess I could use it to kind of double cup the water, but I'm sure we have a bucket. And I look at Theo.
Why would you think I'd have a bucket?
You're the farm boy.
You have a lot of things. I don't know.
I've got a shovel.
Don't farm people have buckets?
I didn't bring a bucket with me. I brought my shovel and my work gloves. What do you want?
Well, a shovel is kind of like a bucket.
Well, you can use the shovel and catch it and carry it over and just kind of...
All right, okay, we can use this shovel to scoop water onto the lock. How about that?
Yeah, and use the shovel for the powder.
Just do one before you do the other.
Okay.
Do the powder first.
I guess. I don't want this to mess up my shovel, This is an important tool.
You have got a good shovel. I wouldn't worry about it. It's gonna. That shovel is well made. It's gonna outlive you.
A new shovel would not be the same. All right,
we'll buy a farmer and you can steal his shovel, and then you can have one that's broken in.
Why would I ever steal another farmer's shovel? Why would I steal anything
Maybe he doesn't
from
need it
anyone?
anymore. Maybe he already buried his family and came to terms with it.
Stealing from people is absolutely wrong. I would never.
It's not absolutely wrong, and it's not really stealing if you plan to give it back.
Can I summarize Theo's opinion on things? This is my shovel. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Exactly. Yes.
My shovel is my life. If I lose my shovel.
Exactly. Yes. It has sentimental value. Okay. No, Theo is gonna, he's just gonna shrug. He's gonna be like, all right, okay, fine. He's gonna use the shovel to collect a little bit of the powder.
You've been bullied into it.
He's here to help the group, and he's gonna
Jim's still in
carefully
cat form,
kind of
just
like
kind of sitting there looking around.
tip the shovel with the powder in it, like towards the lock to get the powder into the lock.
So as you move with the shovel, and you can see that the powder just kind of sits there at the end, you just kind of have a little bundle of it. The steam in the air, just kind of like as it continues to settle, you can see it kind of make a little bit of a reaction on the surface of the powder. It's not as drastic as what you see there, but you can see it's kind of sizzling all on its own. Not enough that the metal seems to be heating up substantially, but you can see that it's already reacting with something in the air. You're able to kind of leverage it into the... It's not really going into the lock hole very easily from, just kind of ramming the tip of the shovel against it. So who's helping out with
tap
that?
Yeah, don't try and ram the tip in.
Okay. Afterwards, he's gonna kind of like clink his boot against the shovel to try to get as much powder off as he can, like when it's on the ground. So before he puts it in the water.
Just ease the tip in.
So as you kick the shovel and the powder just kind of like, you watch as it reacts pretty drastically, where it kind of sizzles and kind of crackles across, and you can even see spots where the water was on the stone was wet. It dries temporarily, and a few seconds later the water slowly, the dampness returns.
Right, y'all might want to move back a little bit before I pour the water in there, just to be safe. I don't want any of us getting hurt.
And then Bob walk away.
Everyone takes a step back. Theo's got like a shovel, a little bit of water.
Exactly.
As you put your shovel in, like remnant powder just kind of sizzles up immediately. But it's not as bad as every couple of seconds when more dumps in and it just creates another wave of stuff. And you just put some water and it's in there. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, okay. Sure, I'll roll twice. Get the lower number. That's a 12. It was so much different than the 13.
That's not half bad. So you're able to pretty deftly, carefully, like you're used to having to haul around all sorts of stuff. Your shovel this is my shovel. So, you're able to kind of, along the midline, it's got a decent amount of water in it, and you're able to kind of like get it right up in there. And at first when the water hits, you can hear it sizzle. And then you hear a pop, and a pop, 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 as the water is hitting more of where the powder is on the inside. And then as you pull the shovel away, the little metal piece that kind of had slided away just kind of covers back over, and then it ricochets across the room.
Jeez.
Ping, ping,
doesn't
ping,
hit
ping.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. As there now appears to be a lot of steam just kind of billowing out of the lock.
Somebody try the door.
Theo reaches over and he tries the door.
With your bare hand?
No, he's wearing his gloves.
Okay. It's freaking hot. Like where you push, kind of like it's. This is the first time you've actually touched the door. Door's freaking hot, but it starts to give. It's not quick because this is a freaking large, heavy door, and as the door slowly slides open, you begin to understand the thickness of the wall. As the door slowly goes, the thickness of the wall is just over 18 inches, as the door itself is tapered even, like it's a pressure seal that you've just kind of
blown up.
Is this a very big door? And I'm still not sure that we should have done this, but at least it's open.
You just kind of...
Why would you be unsure about doing this? It's open. And walks by.
And as you do, another, bunch of the powder just hits the water, steam billows up, and instead of going in the normal direction it goes, this time it just kind of wafts out into this hallway that's behind it. And that is where we will leave for tonight.
Pretty sure, last line here, I'm pretty sure that whoever made that door had that door there for a reason, and now we've undoored the door.
The door just doesn't have a functional lock anymore.
It doesn't work.
Oh,
Not a very good door anymore.
The door's still doors. The lock just doesn't work.
Yeah, but not right now when we have it open. Who knows what
That's
we're
the
doing?
point of doors. They can be open or closed.
But best of all, we have announced our presence and we will appear out of a cloud of smoke. It will, it's like watching a magician.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
a dramatic entrance.
If there was any semblance of this being a stealth mission, I think you have
It's
ruined
gone.
those chances. On the
Stealth is
other
what we
side,
aren't in a hurry.
What we ought to do
on
is
the
we ought to
other
let
side of
cat
the door.
appear.
That is true. You can just the cat just kind of walks around. Like that's who did all this? What the? Just a little cat.
Psych
There is
him out.
another similar metal piece to the one that kind of popped off into the room, kind of just on the floor against the wall, about 10 feet out, just kind of like this little metal disc kind of just spinning still, just. And that's where we're going to end tonight.